Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most common questions in research. What's the difference between qualitative and quantitative research? Let's break it down in a simple and easy to understand way. Let's start with quantitative research. The quantitative research is all about numbers, measurements, and data that can be counted. It's used when you want to answer questions like, how many? How often? What percentage? For example, if you want to know how many people in a city support recycling laws, you'd use a survey with yes, no, or multiple choice questions, then analyze the results using statistics. Here are the types of quantitative research. Descriptive research. This type of research is all about describing what's going on. It answers questions like, what is happening? How many? How often? For example, a survey that finds out how many students own smartphones in a school. No cause and effect, just the facts. Experimental research. This one tests cause and effect by controlling variables. For example, you give Group A a new learning app and Group B the old method. Then you compare their test results. It's the most controlled and structured type of quantitative research. Quasi-experimental research. Similar to experimental research, but there's no random assignment. You still compare groups, but in more real-world settings where perfect control isn't possible. Example, testing a new teaching method in one school but not in another, without randomly assigning students. Correlational research. This type looks at the relationship between two or more variables, but doesn't prove causation. Example, is there a connection between screen time and sleep quality? You might find a correlation, but that doesn't mean one causes the other. Survey research. Often used in descriptive, correlational, or causal studies, survey research gathers data from a large group of people using structured questionnaires. Example, national polls on health, education, or opinions. Now let's talk about qualitative research. Qualitative research is all about understanding meaning, experiences, and emotions. It uses tools like interviews, focus groups, and observations. It helps answer questions like, why do people feel this way? What's the story behind the behavior? For example, if you want to understand why people care about environmental issues, you'd interview them and explore their values, emotions, and personal stories. Here are the types of qualitative research. Phenomenological research. This type explores lived experiences. It tries to understand how people experience a particular event or situation. For example, studying what it feels like to recover from a natural disaster. You'd conduct in-depth interviews to uncover emotions, perceptions, and meanings. Ethnographic research. This one comes from anthropology. It's all about studying cultures and communities by immersing yourself in them. For example, living in a rural village to understand traditional farming practices. You'd observe, take notes, and even participate in daily life. Grounded theory. Unlike other types, grounded theory aims to build a theory from the data itself, starting with no hypothesis, just collecting and coding until patterns emerge. For example, interviewing social workers to develop a new theory on burnout in their field. Narrative research. This type focuses on people's stories. It examines the way individuals construct meaning through personal narratives. For example, collecting life stories of immigrants and how they describe identity and belonging. So what's the big difference? Quantitative equals, quantity right arrow focuses on what can be measured. Qualitative equals, quality right arrow focuses on what can be described. They both have strengths, and sometimes researchers even combine them to get a fuller picture. That's called mixed methods research. So next time you hear someone say, we did research, you'll know to ask, was it qualitative or quantitative? If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more clear and simple breakdowns of complex topics. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.